Hey guys, my name is Lukis and welcome back to the studio. Today we are going to mix piano and bass together. So mixing a rich piano with a strong bass the right way sounds just incredible. And depending on which bass and piano you're working with, there are multiple ways of doing this. The goal is to create space for both the piano and the bass simultaneously, while also figuring out where to put the filters in the equalizer. I'll be using the piano called Addictive keys from Excellent Audio, not sponsored, and I will also use a bass from reFx Nexus, not sponsored. But also, it always comes down to the individual producer and mixer on how he or she likes the sound. Keep that in mind when you're doing this yourself. And the software that I will be using is FL Studio 20, but you can follow along in every single software out there. But let's get going. Okay guys, so here we are in FL Studio, and for the purpose of this video we will be doing the process in 3 steps. First of all, we will talk about the direction and the sound choice, then we will talk about some sort of sound design, and then we will talk about how you can blend the 2 instruments together. But before this video I prepared this little loop right here. And you can hear we have a piano and we have a bass. So for step number 1, we want to select the direction we want to go in and which sounds we want. So I thought, okay, I want a dirty piano progression with some chords, and the bass should follow along nicely. So for this purpose I think, okay, I need a rich grand piano. So I found a rich grand piano. And for the bass, I made a bass that goes along with the root notes from the chords, with some slight variations here and there to make it stand out more. So this is the direction we are going in together with our sounds. So for step number 2, we want to talk about the individual sounds. We need to prepare them for the mixing. Okay, so first of all we have the piano right here. And what I have done to prepare this for mixing is that I have used a couple of equalizers. In the first equalizer I have carved out a lot of frequencies, and in the second equalizer I have gone in and been more specific. This EQ right here is for the 3rd step, but I will come to that later. Then we also have the bass, and the bass sounds like this. And for this bass I have done some equalizing and I have added some distortion. The equalizing basically the same as the piano, cut what I didn't like and added what I'd like. The distortion is pretty much just to make the bass more unique and make it stand out in the piano. So now the sounds are ready to get blended. So in step number 3 we want to blend the 2 sounds together. But first of all we need to talk about how do we do this. So the piano contains a lot of frequencies, from the lows to the highs. And the bass basically contains more frequency in the lows than in the highs, so we need to remove some low frequencies from the piano to make space for the bass. But how do we do this? Normally we would go in and add an equalizer, like this, and then we will throw on a high pass filter on the piano, like this. And maybe some people will go in and cut it out like this, you know, really sharp. But the thing with the piano is that, as I just said, it contains a lot of frequencies, so you really need to be careful on how you cut it. If you cut the piano too fast, like the slope on this equalizer right here, you will end up with a piano that sounds really weird because you remove too many frequencies at once. What you'd really like is a slope like this, where you cut the piano frequencies out more slowly to get a nicer sound. And I think that the best plugin for this right now is the SSL EQ from Waves Audio. This has not been sponsored, and I have set the high pass filter to 300 Hz, and I have made sure that it's filtered in, so it sounds like this. And if I didn't have the EQ on, it would sound like this. I would have a lot of bass frequencies. So this is the piano. I would normally not do anything to the bass at this point, because when you remove this much low end from the piano, when you blend in the bass, it just works. And what you could do is go into the bass and add more distortion. Okay guys, so there you have it. This is how I normally would blend a piano and a bass together. Of course, this video has been simplified a lot because I would also do some stereo enhancing, I would also add some reverb, chorus, delays, all that kind of stuff. But for the purpose of this video, it makes no sense to go into all of that. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be making more videos like this in the future. But other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.